Welcome back to CCM Talks. I am Bridget Linton, and I am joined by loan officer and branch manager Jackson Thomas. Jackson, thanks so much for joining me.
Well, it's an honor to be here, Bridget. Thanks so much for inviting me.
I love the t-shirt.
You've got to keep calm and mortgage on.
Mortgage on.
It is a little tough at times.
Yeah. Well, listen,
So,
I want to hear
toughness.
all about your career in the mortgage industry. So you've been in it.
Don't. You really want
No,
to
I
hear
do.
all of it?
This is what it's all about here
okay.
at CCM Talks.
Okay.
So let's talk about how you got into the mortgage industry, and then specifically at Cross Country Mortgage.
I decided to become a loan officer the day after my brother got married, March 6, 2016. I remember the day.
Okay.
Because that was the day W.J. Bradley emailed him and told him they were going out of business, bankrupt, they were cutting all the warehouse lines. So my first 3 years in the business, I was a recruiter for my older brother's mortgage company. And so I never originated, but then we were out of business that next day. So I was like, you know what? I guess I'll either become a loan officer or get out of the business. So that was March 6th of 2016. And then, it was kind of crazy. I was just like, got to pivot and make a change.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it seems like it's going well for you. And now you're here.
It was honestly the biggest blessing in disguise because there's no money being made like really in being just a recruiter. Like if you want to make good money or really make a difference in people's lives, in my opinion, being a loan officer, there's nothing better. Like you're on the front lines, you're the doctor delivering the baby, you're the pastor doing the marriage. You know, you're in that moment in time in someone's life where it like really makes a significant difference. So I am super actually grateful that it happened.
And we're grateful to have you here at CCM. What was it about Cross Country Mortgage that made you want to join our company?
Well, Cross Country Mortgage and my family go way back. Actually, back when he started in 2003, Ron got licensed. And throughout the licensing processes, my father runs a law firm, and it's the leading mortgage licensing firm in the country. So actually, we kind of knew about Ron going all the way back to 2003. But obviously, what Ron's done in the last 5 years is absolutely phenomenal. It just being number one retail lender in the country. So that definitely got my attention. But back 5 years later, after I started the business, March 6, 2021, I was visiting my mentor, Rick Ruby, in North Carolina, and we were on a Zoom call with like some of his branches, and then he was like, oh, hey, I just got fired, so we're moving companies. And you could just see the panic on everybody's face. Like, he's like, yeah, we got 30 days to move. So it was kind of like, I feel like I do well in really traumatic situations where I have to make a change very quickly. So that was kind of the start of the decision to move to cross country, but getting to know Ron over those next couple of months really cemented in my mind, like, there's no better company to be. Like, the guy is so aggressive, and you need that in today's market where it's so tough. So super grateful that happened. Like, sometimes, like, you know, beauty for ashes. Like, you turn something that's a terrible situation into probably, again, the second best decision of my life. So
listen, everything happens for a reason. So something many lenders cannot say is you've closed 100% of the clients you've pre-approved. You've also never missed a closing date because of a lender reason. So I got to ask, what is your secret?
A lot of life comes down to mentors and standards. So when I got in the business, two of my mentors were like, hey, if you miss a closing date, you will never get another referral from the realtor, ever. Like, so don't miss close dates. And hey, don't fake a pre-approval. Like, actually pre-approve the person. Like, don't just send a pre-approval letter. Look at the documents, make sure it's super vetted up front, and make sure it's a real deal. Then that way, when you put people under contract, it's a live deal. Versus like, you know, you go to court, like if you're gonna be a great attorney, like Harvey Specter and, you know, Suits, or like, you know, the doctor and the
Love
good
that
doctor,
show, by the way.
right? Like, and even a good doctor. Like, if you're a good attorney, you're a good doctor, why are you good? Because you always win the case and you always save the patient. I just feel like the bar and the standards are so low in our industry. It's like, oh, just send the letter, you know? And so I feel like that was a distinct difference where my mentors were like, this is your standard. I will, I must close every single loan on time. It's almost like an identity that got like branded in my heart of like, I was like not a good person if I missed a close date. Like, I internalized it as my religion. You close loans on time. You never let someone down. It's like, now, I don't know, it was like a scarring thing, but like it really set me up for success because I just got really good at handling tough conversations and deadlines of like never putting myself in a position where like I couldn't come through on the promise. And
I think this is what's helped you build so many strong relationships. Can you talk a little bit more about how you build your relationships with buyers, agents, partners?
Yeah, and so I would say, again, like one of my proudest accomplishments is doing that. And I think, again, it's because a lot of times these clients and realtors become really good friends, and or even like the movie with Speed, and you got Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Like, you're there in this moment of like sometimes a lot of trauma and stress of like buying a home, but like when you come through it together, you actually kind of are closer. So I'm not like always as close to every single buyer that I've closed or every single realtor I've ever talked to, but you have this kind of bonding moment a lot of times if you handle it well. And so building relationships, like if you get really good at conflict resolution and you don't put your head in the sand, you like address things head on. Like I feel like my identity is I'm a problem solver, I'm a solution finder. I can't say I'm perfect, but if I make a mistake, I will make it right. Like I don't say I'm sorry, I will show you that I'm sorry that this got confused or this upset your customer or this was a little bit off. Like I feel like relationships are actually strengthened through conflict, and I think if you embrace that, then it actually makes your life even better, but it's not like a fun thing to do. Mortgages kind of force you sometimes to grow into that. So.
Well, it's a great piece of advice, and we need more people like you around that want to have a solution when there is a problem. You mentioned earlier about how much Cross Country Mortgage has grown since they first started. Can you talk about you personally being at CCM, how you've grown?
So I would say since being around Ron, I have really learned so much. Like I love how accessible he is. Like I text, that guy always gets right back to you. We actually got a chance to be at the Browns game just recently and just sitting there in the booth and just realizing the way his brain thinks. So I think I've really evolved from being like, a loan officer and branch manager to now like being a part of the coaching community, both within CCM and the core training, right? So the core training is a big part of mine, and like going through that experience of growth over the last 3 years with CCM is what's led me to be at a higher level of coaching with the core. And I don't think I could have done that without Ron's influence, Ron's mentorship, a lot of the great leaders, Scott Foreman. There's so many amazing, great people at Cross Country. And I think you typically make within about 5% of your 5 closest friends. So if you surround yourself with like really successful people, it kind of will, rub off on you a little bit. So that's definitely been a big influence at CCM because they are the #1 retail lender. Like they don't mess around. Like we're gonna get done. Like winning is fun. Like doing mortgage is not always fun, but like I don't necessarily, you don't look at Ron and be like, oh, he's a really fun person necessarily. Like he knows how to fun, but like it's winning. Winning is fun.
Yes.
And like I like that mentality at CCM.
I think Ron's a little bit fun too.
He
likes
is,
to have fun.
But when I'm talking to him, it's a little more serious. Like we're dealing with like
yes.
Yes. But like he's a winner, and I like
Absolutely.
that. So.
Absolutely. Well, CCM, it's not just about mortgages. A lot of it is about winning, but it's also about family. And what I find so unique about you is the Thomas clan. You guys all work together as a team. Can you talk a little bit more about what it's like working with your family?
Yes, I got in the mortgage business because of my father, but also really more my older brother. He got in the mortgage business in 2005 because my dad got him in. My dad licensed Ron, like I was saying, has been a mortgage licensing and been a loan officer for a really long time. Holden started as a broker. Then my little brother got in the business in 2011. So we've all really worked together for almost a decade. And
it's so cool.
It's pretty crazy because like I honestly would say that's another one of my probably proudest career accomplishments. That's everything I've done is navigating tough conversations with your brothers. We're all super egotistical, ambitious, vain at different times. We all have weaknesses that could totally implode the partnership, but like we find a way. Like I feel like my father, my faith, and just the ability to like have certain values, like where we, like for every birthday, we get together and we do like birthday encouragements. We actually compete on who can encourage the person the best. And it's just like you got to sometimes make like deposits in a relationship because I take a lot of withdrawals when I get mad or yell at my brother or family members, or I have a brother-in-law in the business, I have a sister in the business. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. So I just feel like investing in the relationships. We get together every third Sunday of every month with all the kids. So I got like 2 daughters and I got like 6 nephews. We all get together. So you've got to find a way to invest in those relationships and make deposits because at some point in the mortgage business, you will make a withdrawal because something bad will happen. It's just unfortunately inevitable in the mortgage business. Something's going to cause stress. So.
Well, I love that because it is sometimes tough when you hear about families working together in the business world. Sometimes it can go really wrong. So if anyone watching out here that they are in the mortgage business and they do want to work with their family, do you have any piece of advice for them?
You've got to find a way to get really good at conflict resolution. You have to have mutual respect. If you can have those, I think you can make it in family business. If you don't actually have a mutual level of respect, then you get like this nepotism thing where the person that's showing up isn't really bringing anything to the table. And I just think that's usually where you see things go sour. If you're not contributing, if you're not showing up and producing and being a part of solutions and just dragging things down, I just don't think it really works. So those things I could see like sifting apart. But I think being able to invest in the relationship and mutual respect, conflict resolution, you have to get good at that.
You've given such great advice on this episode of CCM Talks. To wrap it up, we want to have a little fun. Do you have a fun fact that you can share with us?
Oh my gosh, fun fact. Okay. Well,
typically you could say I work with my family, but we've already discussed that. So you got to come up with something more fun.
I have 40 stitches in my face.
What?
Both my front 2 teeth are fake. I've caught on fire 3 times. I broke my back.
Jackson, how are you
got
alive?
bit by a great white shark. Yeah, no, those are a couple. I like
okay, this is the
adrenaline.
first time I think I've been left speechless on CCM Talks. Wait a minute, can you go into a little more detail of why you have so many stitches in your face? And why can't we see
Golf
them?
club. My little brother hit me in the face with a golf club when I was 12. We were competing.
wow.
I got hit in the head with a shovel with another person. We were competing for digging worms. I was following my brother, got 3 stitches when I was 3. I was in the hospital the day my little brother was born. So my mom was holding my little brother, and my grandmother came and was like, hey, when you're done like getting settled, you might want to come check in on Jackson. He just got out of surgery. He's in the ER as well.
Oh my gosh, your poor
fell
mother.
off the bed, and then I've got 35 stitches here from cancer, skin cancer. So yeah, I've got about 75 stitches.
I mean, that is crazy. Well, you look very put together. I would never know. We're happy that you're alive and you're here.
I'm very happy. A lot of it happened before I was 12, so the skin kind
There
of
you
healed
go.
up okay.
There you go.
So.
Well, Jackson, thank you so much for joining us. Maybe next time on CCM Talks, we'll get the whole Thomas family in here
Yeah, I would love
to
that.
chat it up.
They're the reason I'm successful. So.
I love to hear that. And if you're looking to learn more information about joining CCM, make sure you visit ccm.com, and we hope to see you on our next episode of CCM Talks.